Hi, I here. This is a reading for the sign of Gemini. We're going to do a Celtic cross spread with the Thoth deck, and then we're going to pull 3 cards from the Shadow deck to see if there's any background energies or any confirmations or anything else we should be aware of that we didn't get from the general Celtic cross spread. So let's just see what happens. Alright, so this is for the sign of Gemini. So if that is your sun, your moon, your rising, wherever you have Gemini in your chart, let this reading resonate with you and however you see fit. Okay? So I hope you're having a good day so far. If you're watching this in the morning, I hope that you have a great rest of your day. And if you're watching this in the evening, I hope that you had a great day so far. And I hope the rest of it's so good as well. So as always, use your own intuition, your own judgment when you are looking at these cards. I'm going to give you my interpretation of what this spread is saying, but of course use your own judgment, whatever these things say to you, whatever the cards sort of speak to you, whatever messages come through, let that be guided by your own intuition, not just what I'm saying. So if you disagree with anything that I'm adding, or if you feel like there's more being said, or maybe less being said, whatever comes through, let that be the message that you receive, right? This is a self-reflective exercise after all, so let these cards speak to you in whatever way is most appropriate. Do not try to force anything. Just let the cards come through and say what they will. Alright, so let's see what we have for the sign of Gemini. So this is a reading, as I said, for Gemini, whatever that means for you, however that appears in your chart, or if you just want to see what's going on with Geminis out there, that's perfectly fine too. So let's see what we get. Alright, that feels pretty good. Okay, so let's see what we have. We have the 4 of Discs crossed by the Magician. In the recent past, we have the Empress. In the future, we have the Lust card. In our unconscious energy, we have the Priestess. In our conscious energy, we have the 3 of Cups. Present energy, we have the 7 of Swords. We have in our environment the 5 of Discs. We have our challenge, or what we do not want, our fear, is interestingly, the 10 of Discs. And the likely outcome, we have the 8 of Wands. So we're going to see what's on the bottom of this deck after we go through the rest of this spread. Let's just see what this is sort of saying, and this will represent or tell us anything that we do not see coming. So this is a pretty interesting collection of cards here. I kind of like what I'm seeing. We have, so let's see, as far as major arcana go, we have 4 major arcana. It's a pretty good mix. They're all over here on the left in the cross side here. What we have in terms of court cards is absolutely no court cards. So maybe this is something that is internal or something that just you are concerned about. This is a very personal situation. That's just sort of what's sort of jumping out at me. Let's see what the distribution of the energies are here. So in terms of the minor arcana, we have 1, 2, 3 cards from the suit of Discs or Pentacles. Then we have just 1 from the suit of Cups, so just 1 little water energy over there. 1 card from the suit of Swords for air energy, and we have 1 card for the suit of Wands. So a little bit heavily weighted towards the earth energy, but everything else is fairly balanced. Right, we have 1 of everything. We have water, fire, earth, and air, and 4 major arcana. So that's a pretty nice even spread. Again, no court cards here, just the players from the major arcana. So let's see what this is saying. So in our present moment, we are in the energy of the 4 of Discs. This is financial stability. This is a sort of foundation that everything is built upon. It's a kingdom around your wealth or whatever it is that you're holding on to. Maybe you're in a situation where you're holding on to the things you have. Maybe you're in a situation where you're not sure where things are going, or maybe are very comfortable and feeling well protected. Let's see, maybe in transition to all of that, we have, or maybe not in transition, but crossed by that, we have the Magician. So maybe there is some new information or some new thing that you want to create. Maybe you want to be the magician, or maybe the magician has come into your life and is bringing in some new insights or opportunities, or new things are manifesting around you. Maybe even something illusory is coming in. Maybe someone is coming in to sort of shake up this foundation you have by maybe dropping in your lap something that may be a little too good to be true. On the left and right of this, we have the Empress and we have the Lust card. So, maybe you found yourself in a situation that is what you'd always been looking for. Maybe you found the home you were wanting, or the family you were wanting to create. Maybe whatever this Empress is to you, whatever this is, this goal that you were going towards, this comforting home, this nurturing energy of fertility, this has come into your life in the past, and then now in the present we have stability. So I'm thinking maybe whatever this Empress represents for you, that has brought you to a place where you feel like you made it. You feel like you got what you wanted, you feel stable, secure. And then the Magician comes in to shake things up a little bit and say, well, maybe, I'm thinking like the Talking Heads song, Once in a Lifetime. Maybe you found your perfect home, and then you're looking around like, this is not my beautiful wife kind of situation. This is not my beautiful house. And maybe that's leaving you with the desire to create and do something else. The passion is swelling in you, and in the future, maybe the home that you have built for yourself is not satisfying you. Maybe thinking you have built a castle, maybe you've perhaps built a cage instead. I don't think this is a place that you dislike. I mean, you found the Empress here and you enjoyed what you have, but I think there's some illusion that things are not as they appear. Things are not as good as you expect them to be. And maybe this is just a vague feeling that's in your background here. So here, this is the Priestess and your unconscious energy. So maybe there's some little voice in your head that's telling you that there's more to this picture than what you currently have. That you're craving more than what is in your kingdom right now. I mean, maybe you can stay stable with the situation you have and feel good about things, but there's a little voice saying you need to reach out and see what more there is that you could achieve. Maybe the things that you have that make you feel comfortable and happy, maybe they're not the whole picture. Okay, so I think you're lusting for more here. You have this strength that tells you that you could do better than what you have right now. Not necessarily in your relationship. Like, don't go, leaving your significant other because you want to level up, sort of thing. I mean, maybe that's the situation you're in, but if this really was the Empress that came into your life, this is a partner that is here to stay. This is someone that you really care about. This isn't some short-term sort of, just one chapter in your life sort of situation. This is something you really wanted, but I don't think it's everything that you wanted. I think there is more ahead of you that you want to celebrate, and maybe this is with the Three of Cups here. This is the celebrating with others. This is like a card of abundance and happiness, and maybe enjoying with friends the fruits of your labor. Maybe you're feeling very good about the things you've created, but you know that it's just not filling you up enough. 3 is a good place to be. 4 is a card of stability, but there's just more that is maybe being brought to your attention. Maybe sort of intuitively you realize that there's more that could be accomplished. There's more that can happen here. And maybe the Magician is the realization that the things that you have that are your bedrock, your foundation, are maybe not as strong a foundation as you hope. Maybe you still need to do a little bit more to build the groundwork of the kingdom that you're trying to live in right now. And you need a place to house all of that passion and strength inside of you, and you don't quite have that as much as you might think you do. I don't think it's bad, it's not the whole picture yet. So in your present energy, we have the Seven of Swords. This is the futility card, and again, I think this pairs nicely with the Magician here in terms of pointing out that there is something illusory about the foundation and the kingdom that you are currently living in. I think you're being deceived into thinking that this is the final chapter, that this is what we were building up to the whole time, when in reality there are some pieces of the foundation that need a little bit more reinforcing before this really is the castle that you're going to settle down in forever. And in your environment, there is worry. There is the Five of Pentacles. This is usually a short-term concern, though, so I think you're going to, maybe if it has not happened yet, I think you're going to see some of the cracks in the wall of the situation you're finding yourself in right now. And eventually you're going to get, these revelations are going to start to show that there are things that are not as good as they could be. Maybe you're in a situation where you're feeling comfortable enough, but it's not enough to be able to live long term in this level of sort of stability. Here, in what you don't want or what you are challenged by, your fear is the Ten of Pentacles. So I'm thinking that maybe you're in a situation where you realize that although this works now, long term, this is not going to be a sustainable situation. That as hard times may become in the near future, situations that you are not exactly expecting to happen are going to challenge the foundation that you've built and make you really have to think, okay, how do I make this work long term? You know, when this thing breaks and I got enough to live on and I'm feeling comfortable and happy now, but like, you know, what happens if I get sick with some sort of major illness or something breaks or some sort of unforeseen disaster comes into your life that you can handle, but like what's going to happen in the aftermath of handling that? That financial stability you have now is enough, but it's not necessarily enough for you to be able to survive bad weather. You know, you need that nest egg to sit on, and I think you're feeling comfortable, and I think you're excited to do more, but I think you realize that the foundation that you're sitting on is not as strong of a foundation as you are hoping it to be in the long term. And with the Eight of Wands and the likely outcome of this, I think this is the situation's probably happening soon. I think you're going to find some information or some situation's going to come into your life unexpectedly at the last minute, and you're going to have to deal with the consequences of whatever this situation is. And I think you realize that this is going to really challenge whether or not the home, that this foundation you have right now, is the castle that can weather any sort of disaster. And I don't know that it is. So I think you're going to have to take your strengths and you're going to have to go back out there in the world and try to figure out, how do I keep building? How do I keep reinforcing what I have so far and making it better? And that's what I'm getting from this. So let's see what we have and what we don't see coming. Ace of Cups. So, you know, maybe the unforeseen thing that's coming into your life is not necessarily the disaster. Maybe you are soon going to have some new opportunity that's going to come into your life, and maybe some sort of new creative idea that you're going to come up with that's going to allow you to figure out how to extend your castle into a stronger castle. You know, use the insights that the High Priestess is giving you from the inside to be more receptive to whatever new unforeseen opportunities are coming into your life. I think you know that time is ticking, that you are good for now, but something difficult is going to be coming up ahead. So use your intuition to guide yourself to these new opportunities so that you can continue to have this abundance with your friends and family and the people that you care about. And although your castle may have to take a few hits, you might have some war or battle that you're going to have to weather. That's okay as long as you are receptive to being able to continue building and using your strengths and your passions to continue building and improving upon what you already have. This is the Five of Pentacles. This is a unfortunate sort of situation that you should be worried about, but it's not necessarily going to be a disastrous one as long as you are continuing to work and don't give in to that worry. Just make sure that you're building and continuing to grow with whatever you have. Okay? So that's what I'm getting from that. Let's see what we get in the shadow deck now. Okay, so let's pull 3 cards from here just to see if there's any extra confirmations or any thoughts that are sort of hiding in the background of this whole message here. Again, I think this is a card of saying, you know, you're good for now. Things are great for now. Just, you know, be ready. You know, there might be some tough situations ahead. I think you can handle it, but be ready. It's not going to be a smooth sailing, but you'll get there. You'll get to port, to keep our metaphor going there. So okay, let's do one more. So what other information do we need to know for Gemini's reading here? Okay, let's do one more. Okay, so we have the Nine of Spheres, the Moon, and the Eight of Wands. So again, we see the Nine of Spheres for this deck would be the corresponding suit of discs or pentacles. So here we have a 9 and here we have a 10. So we're worried about the 10. I mean, we have in our environment a 5. I think there's a issue looming, and we're worried about whether or not that's going to take away the wealth that we have. But I think there is a side of you too that is probably feeling very comfortable that you will be able to get to the prosperity that you are looking for. This is someone who has put in their time and their work, and they're enjoying the fruit of their labors. I think you know that that is going to come. Maybe that is part of what the Empress is for you here. Maybe that stability that you get is what maybe your partner or the people that you work with or the job that you have or the place that you live, maybe that's what your Empress is. And I think that, you know, building upon what you have is going to allow you to take your 4 past a 5 to a 9. And I think this, again, this is not necessarily what's in the physical world yet, but maybe you have a plan. Maybe you know what you want to do to continue this process to get you closer to your 10, or, you know, if you don't make a 10, at least making a 9 is what you're at least shooting for, at least in your thoughts and your feelings. Okay. Here we have the Moon, which is kind of nice that that's right above the Priestess here. This is the Unknown, and it's sitting right above the Magician. That is sort of questioning the strength of our foundation, something that feels good but maybe isn't actually as good as it looks. Maybe you know already in the back of your mind that this thing needs to be scrutinized a little bit more closely. There's a little bit of unknown danger in the sort of certainty of the strength of our 4 of Pentacles, our kingdom of whatever it is that is our represented by the wealth or abundance that we have. You know it's not as strong as it needs to be, and you know we need to get through these sort of dark times, and it's a little scary because we don't know what's going to break. We just know something's going to have to give. But again, trust your intuition, have faith that you're going to be able to get through these tough times by working through them. And again, here we have another copy of the Eight of Wands. This is something fast is going to come into your life. And so here, this is something, the Eight of Wands sort of manifesting in reality. This is the Eight of Wands. I feel this is sort of in your thoughts. So maybe, again, you're aware that something's going to happen soon. You can feel it coming. And maybe your intuition is starting to really speak to you more clearly that, hey, you need to build up your strength. Use that lust and passion, the things that help you find the Empress in the first place, and, you know, take them further. Whatever it was that inspired you to find this thing or person in your life, use the thoughts and the information that you got to, you know, refine that. Take the messages that you were receiving then, and they're going to come in quickly. You're going to need them quickly because you know something's happening. So whatever inspiration it was that helped you communicate the ideas that allowed you to build the castle that you have now, start thinking about it. Because, you know, think about what this is going to mean. Think about what new things might be coming into your life. Just start planning and processing now how to handle the difficult situations you might find yourself in, so that way when those difficult situations do come in fast, you're ready, you're prepared for them, you can handle them. You know, the Moon is telling you you got some uncertainty and some darkness to get through, so start thinking now, and, you know, start building a plan, start sort of figuring out how you can use the information that you know to sort of react quickly when this new situation actually physically comes into your life. Okay, so let's see what we do not see coming from the shadow deck. We have the Ace of Spheres, the Ace of Pentacles. I think you're going to get a great idea. I think you're going to figure it out. Things are going to be difficult. You've got a hard time to get through, but this is why I'm saying I'm thinking of this card in terms of quick communication, and I'm not saying necessarily external communication with other people. Think with yourself. Have a conversation with yourself about the things you can do to bring more stability to your life. And I think when you do that, before you know it, you're going to come up with a new idea for how to build that 4, get past that 5, and get closer to that 9, if not that 10 eventually. That's going to help you really be able to handle these quick coming situations whenever they are just sort of thrown into your lap. So that is what I'm seeing with these cards. As I said before, if there's any more that you see that speaks to you personally, or if you have any disagreements with any of the readings that I've given here, use your intuition to make this fit as best as it does for you. But I hope this was helpful, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. I will see you next time.